In our latest match, it sees South Africa against Holland. The final matches for them in their Group B confrontation. Really a David and Goliath this. South Africa being so successful so far, being undefeated, and Holland, the lowly team, of course, without any wins at all. Let's take a look at the results so far for both these teams. And as you see there, South Africa defeating the United Arab Emirates, and some pretty tough competition in New Zealand, England and Pakistan. As for Holland, well, their best performance, despite not winning any of their matches, was probably against England when they lost that one by just 49 runs. So an interesting contest, this one, somewhat of a David Goliath, as we said. No one expecting Holland to come through, but it's been some strange results already. I think of the West Indies against Australia, no one expected that one. But few injuries. Jonty Rhodes will not be playing. Their prolific fielder for South Africa is not in this one. Holland are also a weakened side. Well, it was South Africa who won the toss, and Hansie Cronje decided to bat. So Gary Kirsten faced the first ball against PJ Bakker.
Bakker bowling from the pavilion end to the left-handed Gary Kirsten. Had a marvellous start to this World Cup. Averages over 40 in the one.
First boundary over the morning. Quickly onto the front foot and in the air past the fielder. Didn't look very close from that angle, but the fast outfield beating the diving man.
That's beaten the offside field. It's a very fast outfield here at the Pindi Stadium. That'll be another boundary to Gary Kirsten.
Well, obviously a man in absolutely top form, Gary Kirsten, just standing up on that. No great pace from the bowler. Getting onto the front foot, standing up on it and pushing it through the field. As Bob says, the fast outfield doing the rest.
Well, there's no justice in the world for PJ Bakker. Moral success against Hudson, but the batsman's picked up 4, straight behind the keeper.
Really loose shot by Andrew Hudson. He tends to do this from time to time. This is why his record isn't better than it is. Look at that, really not a shot befitting of a top quality opening batsman.
Beautiful stroke, bisecting the fielders at extra cover. 4 more to Gary Kirsten.
And that's the reason they're so relaxed. They know that sooner or later a loose one is going to arrive, and the form they're in, they're able to punish it to the maximum.
Well, there's an action replay of that extra cover drive from Kirsten down to the pitch of the ball, smashed away for 4. South Africa 49 for no wicket.
That's a good stroke. My goodness me, Jeffrey. Well, he just stood up and belted it through the line of the ball. Just shows how good this pitch is. It's as good as anything in the World Cup, this surface. Really is flat. The ball comes on nicely. Hit away, and that'll be 4. Though the man is squarer than usual because there's a short fine leg in, it's got past him to his right. Well, this ball wasn't too short. It's only medium pace, and this good pitch, nice bounce. He's able to get into this shot very quickly. And that's down the ground and will be 4. Just hit through the line. It is a beautiful pitch. Oh, it's a wonderful surface to bat on. I mean, South Africa not short of confidence at the moment. They're playing superbly up through this World Cup. They did against England in the recent tour. In South Africa, that'll be 4. Jeffrey Boycott was saying, you cannot bowl medium pace short on here any more than you can pitch it up too far either. Yes, I'd hate to be a bowler on this surface, I must say. I don't think there'll be too many people on the Holland team queuing up to have a bowl. Somebody will have to bowl the 50 overs. And on rate creeping towards 6 in the early stages. And there'll be 4 more. Goodness me. Well, that was just contempt. Just dismissed that. Short of a length, width. He just sort of cuffed it away as if disdainfully saying, well, you can't bowl that sort of stuff at me.
That's a cracking shot. It's a shot that Andrew Hudson has played extremely well, because he actually decides when to take it early and hit it just in front of square, which he did then. Well, he practiced the ball before. This one slightly off the toe end, but perfectly placed. And the fast outfield did the rest.
And he finds the gap to mid on, and that's a half century to Gary Kirsten. And he seems to have quite a fan club in Rawalpindi.
We've been going not an hour and a half.
It's a good shot, and it's beautifully placed as well. Again, taken early. Pretty good outside the off stump, I guess. We'll take another look at it. And played well in front of square.
Not afraid to lift the ball now. He's confident. He's been there a while.
That's beautifully played. It catch a bit low, but Hudson just waited and flicked it and timed it perfectly, and that races away for 4. 142, 143, 144 for no wicket. Catch it, they shout. Well, he could have, but it would have been over the rope.
And maybe it was one of the spectators in the stand that he shouted to catch it.
I heard the call from the middle there. One of the Dutch players said catch it, and I think in the end it went up so high and stayed there for so long. Maybe PJ Backer was rather pleased it just dropped over the top. And that's exactly what they've done. This is in the air though, and the man's under it and has caught it. Zaderunt, the youngster, 18 years old. And as we were talking about the way that South Africa have gone about their games, Kirsten is the one to not give it away, but just get it wrong. I think he meant to hit that a bit straighter.
Yes, looking to hit it straighter and looking to hit it for 6. Just one pace down the track, but a thickish outside edge on the ball, carrying it down to Bas Zaderunt at long off. He makes no mistake. South Africa 186 for 1.
Captain coming in at number 3. This is the reason why he's out there. Just floated down, and there was a little bit of turn. Kirsten looking to hit it high and handsome straight, and the turn at half the outside edge of the bat, and a comfortable catch at long off. Nicely taken.
Cronje on his way. Off the mark. Andrew Hudson on 99. And there it is. Century for Andrew Hudson. He hasn't been under any pressure today, but he's done everything right. Congratulated by Flavian Aponzo. Lovely piece of sportsmanship, which has been indicative of this 1996 WILLS World Cup. 104 balls with 8 boundary 4s and 1 6.
Also proves that you need quite a number of fielders over there to stop these sweep shots. 4 runs. And the captain's annoyed, Jeffrey.
Well, he's a bit animated. He obviously wants people in a certain position. He's not exactly got them there. Well, that's his own fault for bowling. He shouldn't bowl until he's got the fielders in the exact position he wants.
That could well be 4 runs, and is. Again, the sweep from outside off stump and hits square.
Well, he played this to good effect against Mushtaq, the leg spinner, and I think he's got to carry on playing the sweep.
Oh, that's a mighty hit. Terrific blow. 4 in the end, but just dropped inside that long boundary rope. 2-2-2 for 1. One more look at that. Knew exactly where it was going. And nothing the Dutch fielders could do about it. Still to be Aponzo with his off-spin. And it's his last over. Another cracking shot straight down the ground. That's bound to be 4.
Yes, these off spinners both bowl it quite slowly, and they're not getting much spin at all. Batsmen have got plenty of time to use their feet. Well, that was a no ball called. That's a lost ball now. Sixer. But they've got to hold themselves together, have Holland now, because although South Africa have taken runs easily, they could just now really get stuck into the bowling, and the wheels could come off for captain, fielder and bowlers.
And that's it. Cracking shot at the back foot, the ball dropped short, that's 4 runs, and it's 150 to Andrew Hudson.
Well, it was a magnificent shot to bring up his 150. He picks that shot up very quickly from just short of a length. Just short of a length, and sort of half gets forward, then rocks back and just smacks it over mid-wicket.
Well, that's another big hit, and that's gone miles over the top of the fielder, right up on the terraces for 6. 2 sixes and 2 balls.
Well, this is just a replay of the one before. This is one of his better shots. He likes that pull. Pulls from almost half on the front foot. He just hit it with some power.
And that's in the air. That might be caught. It is, he's gone. Well, Andrew Hudson, having got to his 150, began to take the aerial route. But an innings highly fluent, full of variation, lots of sweep shots. A small man, and his punishment of the Holland bowling very much due to timing. And so Andrew Hudson departs, Port Sutherland. Well, Hookra, 161, 274 for 2. Darrell Cullinan is the new batsman. Nicely played that by Cronje. The third man's up and in the ring, so any width afforded, he's got 2 options. One is to smash it square, and there are 2 men back there. The other is to do this.
Very delicate shot, and it's significant that the ball is able to come onto the bat on this pitch so nicely. Good bounce, good pace, one of the better batting wickets I've ever seen.
This is a beautifully timed shot. Beautifully timed shot, goodness me.
Well, even before that, Hansi Cronje's footwork had to be seen to be believed.
End of the 45th over, 294-2.
Hansi Cronje moving forward and back to behind towards square leg to give himself the room, and just superb timing.
Delicately played. There'll be a lot of running for everybody here, including the fielder. He's come from the onside, but in vain. Pace of the ball and the speed of the outfield's enough.
And Darrell Cullinan is using his feet with good advantage here, and a superb little wrist work to time the ball away.
Yeah, he got away to leg, but it's going to cost him. Steve Glover's underneath it. He makes the catch. Cronje making room initially as if to hit through the offside. The bowler followed him, so he changed his mind and therefore wasn't perfectly poised and balanced to hit the shot.
Hansi Cronje giving himself room again to get into position, but just didn't time this one. I think it's straight down the throat of the long on. And Stephen Lubbers taking a catch and then immediately calling his fielders for a team talk. So Hansi Cronje, 41 in 39 balls. You can't ask for much better than that.
301 for 3. Shark Collis, the new man to the wicket. Run the second one though, and that concludes the South African innings, and a record for them, 328 for the loss of just 3 wickets in their 50-over allocation, and a long hard morning for the Dutch.
And it really was a tough day for the Dutch. The South Africans not letting up at all, but of course that's what we expect from a side now headed possibly for the final of this WILLS World Cup. Let's take a look at the figures, and as you see there, a brilliant innings by Andrew Hudson, 161. Kirsten, well, another great partnership for them, a record partnership, in fact, 83 for him, and really, though, I have to say, not a lot in terms of bowling thrown at them. Let's take a look at the bowling figures. Alfonso, Cantrell and Duca all taking the wickets, 3 wickets in all. So then, South Africa 328 for 3, and a brilliant innings by Andrew Kirsten. He's certainly the Vimmel Master Blaster of today. Let's take a look.
That's a good stroke. My goodness me.
Well, he just stood up and belted it through the line of the ball. This shows how good this pitch is. It's as good as anything in the World Cup, this surface. Really is flat. The ball comes on nicely.
Hit away, and that'll be 4. Though the man is squarer than usual because it's a short fine leg in, that's got past into his right. That'll be 4. Jeffrey Boycott was saying he cannot bowl medium pace short on here any more than you can pitch it up too far either. The rate creeping towards 6 in the early stages. That'll be 4 more.
That's a cracking shot. That's beautifully played. He kept a bit low, but Hudson just waited and flicked it and timed it perfectly, and that races away for 4. Catch it, they shout. Well, he could have, but it would have been over the roof.
And maybe it was one of the spectators in the stand that he shouted to catch it.
I heard the call from the middle there. One of the Dutch players said catch it, and I think in the end it went up so high and stayed there for so long. Maybe PJ Backer was rather pleased it just dropped over the top.
Andrew Hudson on 99, and there it is. Century for Andrew Hudson. He hasn't been under any pressure today, but he's done everything right. Congratulated by Flavian Aponzo. Lovely piece of sportsmanship, which has been indicative of this 1996 WILLS World Cup. 104 balls with 8 boundary fours and 1 6.
But now we're seeing the opening of the Holland innings. Oh, they're a great test for them. No one expects them to get the 329 to win. But it'd be very nice for them if they could finish their campaign with a commendable innings.
Well, a little wayward there. Nothing for Nolan Clark to do but stand and watch it, really. I think Holland will do well. They'll have to play shots like that. That was an absolute spanking shot from the back foot.
That was a cracker, wasn't it? Well, I'm very pleased that we've seen the middle of Nolan Clark's bat. Stood up, beautiful timing.
Yes, Craig Matthews just giving him a little bit of width.
Lovely shot. Look at the Dutch supporters, isn't that marvellous?
They've been so loyal and turned up match after match.
Terrific shot. Well, that's why it was picked. His eye just seems right today. And it's good even bounce, good predictable bounce on the pitch. Short ball, terrific shot.
It was a magnificent strike. This is the sort of pace and bounce on this pitch that in his younger days he would have been used to when he played in Barbados.
That explains why.
You just can't bowl short on this pitch. And all the runs have come from back foot shots. Pulls, short of a length. And this is a learning experience, particularly for young Pollock.
Just fails to get outside the circle. Now that must have hit somewhere near the splice of Nolan Clark's bat, but it did the job in the end. He was trying to hit over the ring. Very, very nearly went to hand.
Well, I got the impression this ball wasn't quite as short as one or two others he's pulled, and that it was on to him just a touch quicker, and he got it high up the splice.
A joy to watch. 4 runs, and the moment it hit the bat, 31-32 without loss.
And that's 4 runs. Fortunate runs, but 4 nevertheless.
Frustrating for Sean Pollock because that was a good delivery. Peter Cantrell trying to push the ball through the offside, shaking his head, and he knows that he was a bit fortunate. Inside edge, so nearly hitting the leg stump, but racing away, beating the man up. He's short there.
Yeah, that's going to be 4. It's just exactly the point we're making. Yeah, if you want a deep square, if you're allowed to bowl a bouncer and you know that the batsman's likely to have a go at the hook, that's one thing, because that's a plan. There's no plan here.
Jacques Callis, not that quick off the mark either. And he valiantly dives but misses.
Well, that's just smashed away with contempt. Pitched it up and he's hit it miles.
And it's 6. There's an excellent shot there, almost as though Sean Pollock attempted to change the pace again, but this time Nolan Clark picked it up and away it went. Slower ball, hitting the ball into the vacant long on area over the fence. Very strong man.
That brings up 50 partnership for these 2 opening batsmen. Matthews to Cantrell.
It's timed nicely, that'll run away, might well run away for 4. Callis in pursuit, he'll have to dive, doesn't need to.
Yes, this really was a super shot, one of the best of the innings. It was classy, he was in position, and he hit the ball well into the gap. And once into the gap, fielder had no chance. Just pushed it away, using the power of the delivery to get it past the field.
Out, caught and bowled.
Good
Matthews will be very happy with that.
Good change of pace by Craig Matthews. Ball hitting the toe end of the bat. And Peter Cantrell exits the scene after a very good start with partner Nolan Clark. 56, we see here, he just pushes the ball back. No pace whatsoever on the delivery. This is one of Craig Matthews' specialities. So out goes Cantrell for 23 and 39 balls. 56 for 1.
Kindlelader, the new man in.
In the air, but safe. This will test Cullinan. and beat him.
Well, Cullinan is extremely fast around the boundary, and for the ball to beat him like that, it shows the pace of the outfield. As Holland move on to 61. Good delivery from Alan Donald, leaving the right-hander off the seam.
Good shot. That's gone square. Cullinan drawn fine because of the edges going so fine, and 4 runs through the orthodox third-man position.
Yes, the batsman unable to get forward, ball not too short, but he still played it virtually off the back foot and angling it away behind point.
In the air and taken at mid-off. Well, that's a sorry end to Nolan Clarke's innings. Deceived by a change of pace from Alan Donald, Sean Pollock takes a very comfortable catch at mid-off. Holland lose their second wicket with 70 on the board.
Well, last time I was commentating, I said he's much happier on the back foot. That's a full half volley, very full. He could have smacked that anywhere if he'd have put his front foot forward, but he tried the Caribbean back foot shot and just hit it straight at mid-off. He'll be disappointed with that. Nice innings, 70 for 2.
Holland trying to make a decent fist of this, their last innings in the 1996 World Cup. Good-looking young player, Van Noordvik.
Flashed away through the offside, that'll be 4. The short arm jab, Jeffrey.
Well, it's a lovely pitch to play fast bowlers on. For Holland, obviously, if they've got a pitcher that had a bit in it for a bowler, it'd be difficult to face Alan Donald, but if you're going to face one of the world's best fast bowlers, especially if you're from the minor league, which Holland are, this is as good a pitch as any that you'll find. Nice bounce there. I think they're doing quite well.
Keezer Hyatt at square leg is consulting the third umpire. Colferman's pretty convinced that the batsman was out of his ground. We'll have to have another look at that.
Well, I think that was brilliant work. The ball turned a little bit. He tried to force it on the onside. He seemed to overbalance and half set off for a run. And it looks as though, no, he's surprised us all. He's got back. But a very smart piece of work by the wicketkeeper. First of all, he bobbled the ball, but then he got it, he saw the batsman out, off with the bails. Very good cricket all round, very interesting cricket was that. I don't know where he was running to, the batsman.
Has bowled him out. The middle stump out of the ground, a superb Yorker from Alan Donald. Tim Delader goes. Holland now, they're really struggling. They're 81 for 3.
Well, everybody likes to see the Yorker bowl to perfection, unless you're the batsman. But that's a beauty. Right up there, got him tangled up in his feet. I'm not sure whether it just clipped the pad or not, but it really was right onto the sand shoes. Terrific delivery, wide of the crease, angled in, caused big problems. Holland now 81 for 3.
Donald to Aponzo.
Big shout, and that's out. Well bowled, Patsy Cox. Got some real turns by outside the off stump. Well, a head shake may say I hit it with my bat, but it was certainly pad first.
Yes, there was a rather soft sound to that one, and of course we'll see it better the second time around, but I don't think there was much doubt. Hit the outside edge of the bat.
Caught behind.
Well caught by Colferman, 86 for 4.
Zyder enters the incoming batsman. Good steady player, got a half century against England in Holland's match. It's the end of the over, 86 for 4. They'll look for two. And they'll take it. 97-4. And that's high in the air. And an easy catch. Down at long on. And so patience runs out for Flavian Aponzo. Gary Kirsten took the catch. There's something inevitable about it. Excellent bowling by Simcox. He'd been toying away outside that off stump. But he hacked across the line and sliced under it. Rather a long wait for Kirsten at deep mid-on, but he made no mistake at all. And so the 5th wicket goes down from 97. Marcel Shaver, the new batsman.
Straight down the grounds, good-looking shot. Beautiful foot movement. That'll give the man of only 18 years of age a lot of heart. Down the track, lovely follow-through, straight back over the bowler's head.
Much tighter over this from Jacques Cullis.
And 4. Callis not happy about the effort in the field or the direction of the ball. Simcox unable to cut it off. 121 now for 5. Plenty of work for Sean Pollock out there. They're back for 2. It'll be tight. Steve Randall asked for the 3rd umpire. Very tight call. Polferman thinks the batsman's dismissed. Cronje celebrating. Excellent work by Sean Pollock in the outfield. Callis the bowler. Was the striker's call. Zadran looking to get back, but he is not going to make it. He's out by a good 2 feet. He gets the red light. He's on his way. The 6th Dutch wicket down. That's a disappointing end for the young man, 18-year-old. 26 from 49 balls, 2 boundary fours. But misjudge, 2nd run. You take on these South African fielders at your peril. 126 for 6, Holland. Eric Kauker, Holland's number 8.
That's a cracking shot. Yorker attempted. It slapped into the middle of the bat and crashed away to mid-wicket for 4.
Well, I can't remember the last boundary, but it seems to have been a long time ago. And really, this was a most honourable shot. With that beautifully timed, took his feet a couple of times before flicking the ball off his toes.
That's a good shot. Really well placed. Splendidly timed. And that finds the boundary. 146 for 6. Struck high in the air, there's a man underneath it, and out. Jacques Cullis, the catcher. Did that pretty well, but straight at him.
Yes, they're very much held down, Holland, by South Africa. The big total has seemed to put a break on Holland. They've never really come to terms, except the openers playing. They've pushed balls here and there, the odd scoring shot, but all in all, they've been tied down. Always been in control of South Africa. 158 for 7.
New batsman Robert van Oostrum. anywhere in the world.
Well, it's been coming as that because he's bowled almost all the balls of this over, very full, very straight, tried to get them up into the block hole, practicing for when he gets into a match and he's under pressure, which might come in the quarter-finals. And I don't think there's any doubt about that. Once you give yourself room to try and steer it on the offside, you're giving the bowler a better opportunity of bowling you out. 163 for 8.
Pollock to the new batsman, the Holland captain, Steve Lovers. He's happy to get off the mark. Ran like a scalded cat then. Deflected down the fine leg, so 168 will be Holland's reply to the 328 for 3 set by South Africa. All in all, an emphatic victory for the boys in green, who have now taken their World Cup record in 1996, played 5, won 5. Holland played 5, lost 5.
So a valiant effort by Holland there, 168 for 8, but it was never going to be not easy to catch South Africa's excellent total well into the 300s. Let's take a look at the cards as they ended up. And it really wasn't all doom and gloom. Nolan Clark with an excellent 32, as Peter Cantrell also got 23, but also Bas Zanderant can also be happy as he goes back to Holland now with 27 and a couple of excellent catches earlier on, and certainly some bright hope for Holland in their future. And they'll go back now. Let's take a look at the figures for South Africa's bowling, and really they continue to be a very, very tight outfit as they go into the quarter-finals. Matthews, Donald and Simcox all performing excellently as they move on now. McMillan as well, only 5 runs hit off his 4 overs.